For Wisconsin Coast to Coast, I'm Stephen Walker, taking a look at the headlines on this side of the state. Bond has been set for a Winona man charged in a La Crosse County homicide. Online court records show a $1 million cash bond was set for 38-year-old Jacob Claver. He's charged with first-degree intentional homicide in the death of a man in Holmen. In the early morning hours of June 29th, authorities responded to a home on Granum Street in Holmen, where they found a deceased man. Within days, Claver was identified as a suspect and arrested. He's due in court for a preliminary hearing on Wednesday, July 16th. In a rush for time, Wisconsin legislators passed the state's new biennial budget ahead of the signing of the president's big, beautiful bill. While many consider the budget a compromise, the lawmakers we spoke to agreed that the budget significantly helps hospitals in the state. The bill raised hospitals' assessment from 1.8% to 6%, bringing more federal money to our state's healthcare providers.
It is absolutely all about the rural hospitals, which have been closing more than people realize and shrinking. So hopefully it will make a big difference, because this is Medicaid money, and there's so many people who use Medicaid who are in rural communities.
In a statement, State Senator Jesse James said the biggest ticket item was increasing the hospital assessment and access payments to the federal maximum and reinvesting that money back into the hospitals. This untapped federal money is an additional pathway to help support our hospitals. However, there are some educational experts speaking out against that same budget, saying it falls short of providing enough aid for schools. While the compromised budget gives an added $500 million to special ed reimbursements for schools, State Superintendent Jill Underly said with no increase in new state general aid for a majority of schools, educators will be under, quote, immense pressure to provide students with a quality education. Eau Claire Area School District Superintendent Mike Johnson believes the lack of extra funding for general public school aid will make things difficult for many schools as costs continue to go up.
This budget still will not solve the problem of so many districts having to go to referendum in the next year or two. And while we just passed one in Eau Claire, I'm concerned about our neighbors, again, because yes, I'm focused on Eau Claire, but when this area succeeds, we all succeed in the state of Wisconsin. Wisconsin public school kids win.
A new eco-friendly housing project in Eau Claire has opened its doors. The Prairie Heights residents will serve a plethora of residents, including multifamily, veterans, special needs, and lower income occupants, as well as areas set aside for the unhoused population. According to Paul Gerard, the building's developer, utility costs can often make up 20% or more of a low-income household's budget. Gerard explained that it will not be the case for Prairie Heights residents.
And the tenants really don't pay anything for any type of utilities or internet, sewer, water, garbage, anything like that. We even cover their unit electricity. All of these apartment units have a stove, a refrigerator, a washer, a dryer, a microwave, a dishwasher, a disposal, ceiling fans, mini blinds.
Prairie Heights will utilize solar panels and a geothermal tax credit earning project. That means it's a project that uses pumps to heat and cool the building while storing and using energy in the Earth's crust. The city of La Crosse will soon begin work on a housing development of its own that will address the affordable housing crisis and serve residents with disabilities. We sent Dashiell Menzel to take a look around at the brand new Haven on Main.
Haven for Special People and Couleecap are starting the public phase of their $4.2 million fundraising campaign. The campaign will support the $23.5 million Haven on Main housing development. The development will have 70 units of 1 to 3 bedroom apartments, 59 of which will be for people living on low income due to a disability.
This is a new and unique housing development that will provide independent living options for adults with disabilities alongside the general population without disabilities in an inclusive 70-unit apartment building.
Couleecap Executive Director Hetty Brown hopes that Haven on Main can serve as an example to other communities.
There is currently nothing of this kind in this community where there is independent living options for adults with disabilities. We actually looked across the community, but across the state, and there's really only one other model of this kind.
Michael and Brandy Ray donated $1 million towards the fundraising campaign because they have a child with autism. They say housing is a concern for any parent who has a child with a disability.
I'd say it's probably the biggest concern as a special needs parent, and for us as well with our son, is what's going to happen to our son if something happens to us. Where is he going to live? How is he going to be supported by the community? And I know that is a concern of most parents.
Being able to obviously see something close to home with a mission that is really important to us, which is helping to serve this community, the special needs community that needs some support, is the reason that we've really embraced this project.
The public face of the campaign has already raised $3.7 million, meaning it only needs around $500,000 more to reach its goal.
Groundbreaking for the project is scheduled for late August or early September. Mayo Clinic Health Systems has been in their new La Crosse hospital for a few months now, and the old buildings are scheduled for demolition. However, Mayo and Habitat for Humanity La Crosse are working together to give those old buildings one more chance to provide for the community. Dashiell Menzel has more.
After their new hospital was built, Mayo Clinic officials looked to Habitat for Humanity to help move remaining items out of the St. Anne and St. Francis buildings. Habitat's Restore program brings in volunteers to take out leftover items so they aren't thrown away. Habitat Executive Director Kaya Fox says the items are then sold to homeowners in the area who need certain items.
I think it's really great that we get to come into these buildings prior to demolition and be able to salvage and reclaim some of those iconic things. You know, there's all sorts of really unique parts of a hospital, things that you don't even think about, the signage and the artwork and the flooring and the really neat cabinetry. And so rather than that stuff being just dumped together and thrown into the landfill, we get to save a piece of St. Francis and St. Anne's.
Fox adds that this program will also help Mayo Clinic in their efforts of fully moving to their new facility.
Not only helps Habitat for Humanity, but it also reduces construction costs because we're taking out materials that you don't have to pay to get them to the landfill.
Volunteers Mike Whitrig and Andrea Benko say they enjoy getting involved with the project because it helps the community in a variety of ways.
We can recycle materials that don't go to the landfill. We can sell the materials through Restore, and that money can be used to help build houses. That checks a lot of boxes for me, and we're glad to help.
And it's nice that instead of just demoing all this and dumping it all in the landfill, which would be the end of the building, it can go on and it can live in projects and houses and other people's gardens or workshops or whatever they want to do.
Habitat and Mayo Clinic officials say the program is a great way for these buildings that have helped many people for a long time bring assistance to community members one last time.
Volunteers will work weekly for the next few months, emptying the buildings before they're raised. Mayo Clinic Health Systems and Habitat for Humanity said this program is a great way for the buildings that have helped countless people over the years provide for the community one last time. The La Crosse County Historical Society is giving community members a trip down memory lane with their new exhibit. Reflections of La Crosse features 27 paintings created by local documentarian painter Marion Bean. The paintings show historical buildings that are no longer around and iconic landscapes of the Coulee region. The La Crosse County Historical Society curator Amy Vox says the exhibit is a tribute to the nostalgia of La Crosse.
Right now, there are still a lot of people that remember these buildings coming down, remember seeing the county courthouse, remember being in it as a child. It really helps develop your sense of place and community to understand that you're part of our community's past, its present, and even its future.
Reflections of La Crosse can be viewed in the La Crosse Area Heritage Center until October 5th. Horse Sense is a Coulee Region nonprofit dedicated to enriching the lives of individuals with and without disabilities through friendship with a horse. They've started a free program to help veterans in the area, and Dashiell Menzel went out to Coon Valley to take a look around.
Pop-Tart is one of the horses here at Horse Sense that is part of a program that helps veterans and their families reconnect, heal, and grow. Horse Sense for Heroes is a free program for military veterans and active duty service members who may need to regain mobility, rebuild trust, or struggle with PTSD. The nonprofit is currently working towards $10,000 in donations by the end of July to keep the program strong for next year. Horse Sense officials say whether it is through riding, grooming, or bonding, horses are great at providing a sense of calmness to a person.
Horses are kind of a mirror, and they are very good at sensing the energy around them and kind of responding to that. So they're really good as if they notice someone's anxious, that they're able to just kind of be, and they I don't really know how to explain it, but they know when people need that kind of just sense of calming presence, and they're able to be that for them.
For more information on how to donate, you can visit HorseSense's website at horsesensewi.org.
HorseSense is currently working toward their goal of $10,000 in donations by the end of July. On Lake Wissota, there is a tradition unlike many others. This year, the man behind that tradition decided to pay tribute to a baseball legend who spent a little bit of time in the Chippewa Valley. Daniel Gomez paid a visit to the man behind the tribute.
It's the guessing game that comes in play every summer.
It's kind of a Lake Wissota buzz. What's Art crafting? What's up his sleeve this year?
Like that. Oh, I see. Art Hebert striking the Lake Wissota landscape with his art.
Around birthdays, anniversaries, 4th of July, Labor Day, special occasions.
I think it looks great, and it always does. Art and his family do a great job of putting these pictures together.
He is also a fan of baseball.
Here's Bob Euchre. All right, Jim, thank you very much.
His favorite pastime based around a legend that once called the Chippewa Valley home.
What was really enjoyable is taking boat rides at night and being on the water, listening to Bob Euchre. And it was just soothing, and listening to his stories about when he lived in Eau Claire.
Before taking brush and sweat to grass that's wet.
Yesterday was hot working on this. We were dying. I jumped in the lake about 4 times.
He got to planning.
And then I started drawing things on paper, laying it out.
This is what boaters that run by his home base see, a tribute to Bob Euchre. Not only seeing his legendary catchphrase,
these boaters will probably putz up and they'll have to listen to the classic line. I've really never had audio before, so this is a step up in my talent.
Hebert never meeting Mr. Baseball himself, but Euchre's passing in January hitting close to home anyways.
He seemed like a rock-solid guy that would be there forever and ever.
While the ball game will never be the same again.
And now with him gone, it's a little different.
The Brewers are still a great baseball team. It's just not quite the same now listening to him announce.
Euchre's memory will never be gone, thanks to continuing tributes.
Hebert expects the display to stick around for a couple of weeks, but if you want to see or hear it, you got to take to the lake. You can only view Hebert's backyard on the lake near the city of Eagle Point. Hebert has been designing the tributes in his backyard for more than 3 decades. Finally, workers are busy putting the finishing touches on Altoona's long-awaited container park, The Yard. Organizers said the official grand opening will be July 26th. The Yard will include restaurants, shops, a tap room, and a music stage, all on Division Street in downtown Altoona. The city of Altoona announced the grand opening will take place during business hours at The Yard from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., with an opening ceremony at 1 p.m. They also said music and activities will follow into the night. That's been a look around at the headlines on this side of the state. For Wisconsin Coast to Coast, I'm Stephen Walker.